Today, what we're going to cover is the work in progress summary. I'll go into some detail about all the 6 sections of the work in progress. And then we'll look at the different reporting capabilities of CrossLink itself. The reports within the program, the reports that are available on the customer portal, as well as the mobile reports that we have in our CrossLink app. Now, when I talk about the work in progress summary, what is this thing, this work in progress summary? Well, what we're trying to do is give you an at-a-glance kind of report on what is happening in your office. This is the first page that you come across when you open up the program or when you transmit. You're always returning to the work in progress summary, and it gives you access to things that kind of fall through the cracks when your head's down in W-2s in the season. How many checks are available, how many returns have been entered, how many returns are rejected. Those are all reflected on the work in progress summary. And let's take a look at that here. Let me open up the program. Here we are. This is the work in progress summary here. And you notice here are 6 sections available. Starting at the tax return section, if we want to look at the returns, you can see I have 1 return in my system here. And if I wanted to see that, all I needed to do was click on select a return. I can click on go and it'll list that return out for me. Anytime I'm off of that work in progress summary and I want to return, look into that toolbar at the top. There's a WIP button up there and we can click on that to return to the work in progress summary. Underneath select return is the status summary list. This breaks the returns down based on the status. So if you have returns that are ready to be e-filed, returns that are rejected, each of those statuses will be reflected in here. And you can double click on these and see that return go straight to that return. Now, what's nice about this status summary list is we can connect the statuses of the tax returns to processes within your office. So let's say I have a situation where I have a veteran preparer look over all of my new preparers' returns. I'll have a peer review process happening. So when that new preparer has completed the return, they can apply that status to the tax return. We'll save it. And now when we look at status summary list, it'll have that peer review. So when my veteran preparer comes in, they can double click on this, list out all the returns that they need to review and get them sent off to the IRS. That's the power, of, I think, in this status summary list, is fitting it to some of the processes that you have around the office. Next is the management dashboard. Now, this is a reporting tool that we have within the work in progress summary. So if we wanted to use this, we can click on it. There's 7 different reports that we can run. I'll just run a daily activity report. We can sort by group or by start and end date. I'll click go here, and you can see I have my date. I have the office that the return came from if you're a multi-office, and I have the preparer that completed this return. And what I love about this report is I can click on any one of these cells, and I can, when I double click on it, it'll take me to those returns that is reflected in that report. This is a very handy report when it comes to productivity and making sure that everybody is productive and completing returns and sending them off. You can really get a sense if somebody is working harder than others, or if you need more help in one office as opposed to another. All of that is detailed right here in the management dashboard report. Last in the tax return section is the training returns. This is a spot where you can fill in returns that are fake. At the beginning of the year, you want to give your new preparers a little bit of time to get used to the program and how the program works and how to submit a return with CrossLink, and that's what training returns is all about. You can keep this fake data separate from your real client information. That's the training returns queue. Over here on the right is the transmit queue. This is where you're going to transmit the tax return. Transmitting a tax return in CrossLink is a two-step process, and you begin by queuing the return, and that sends it out here to the transmit queue. Once it's here, you can select transmit down at the bottom, and then that'll submit whatever has been queued up to be sent. I also have archive and recover from archive. These you may or may not have access to depending on if you have purchased our secure offsite storage, which is a backup program. That's the transmit queue. Next up is the printing queue. We have checks, registers, and activations here, and I have been told that now all of our banking partners are printing checks on the website. But just in case that changes, we've left this available here for you. So if we get any checks that are printing through the program, we'll display them here. Tax returns. This is a section if you want to batch print your tax returns all at the end of the day or overnight, you can do that. Something that's a little bit legacy that we don't really do these days, but it's available. Also, pro forma, if you want to compare last year's information, last year's tax return, all that information will be here. And then lastly, we have the acknowledgement letters from the federal and from the state. And this is where you can print them out and or email them as you see fit. That's the printing queue. Next up is exceptions and rejects. And this is where we'll send returns that have been rejected either by the IRS or by the state. And also, Fed refused is rejected by us. Think of it as being rejected by the central site. That's pretty rare, but you might see some refusals in this year. We refuse if you've sent the same return with the same Social Security number that's been filed through us. We'll refuse for that, or if the return hasn't made it to us, if it's corrupted or whatnot. But usually that's pretty rare. We do get that question. Fed state alerts. This has to do with alerts that the IRS is giving you about specific returns. There's a bunch of different alerts and warnings that you can get about certain returns. Usually it's automated, so they'll qualify for that automated. When they go through the automated process, they'll qualify for one of these alerts. Verify retrieved. This is used usually when you convert from last year's program. You don't really see this used too much beyond the beginning of the year unless you're a multi-office. And bank rejected. This is if the bankers rejected the application for one reason or another, we'll let you know and you can get to fixing that immediately. And lastly, we have pending remote signatures. This has to do with our brand new feature, the remote signature feature. Inside the tax return, we can send off a remote signature to somebody's smartphone, and that will all let you know when you get somebody that has signed the return. It'll count up here. Remote signature processes. These 4 sections of the work in progress summary, these are the sections that all of us use. The bottom sections here are much more administrative sections. If you look at other items, we have software updates, we have email with our tech support staff and bulletins, also today's appointments. So if you want to set an appointment with a customer, you're welcome to use the program to do that. There's a place to back up returns, and also if you've signed up for our TextLink Plus, you'll see those available on the other items section as well. Now, quick reports. I talked about Management Dashboard as being a report that is accessible on the work in progress, but we also have this quick report section. This whole section is for reports that you find you're running on a daily basis or hourly or just frequently throughout the day. You can pin up to 11 reports right here on the work in progress summary. If we go to the utility menu, right, kind of in the middle is quick reports list. And this is a list of all the reports that we have available in the system, including reports in the reports menu, any reports that you've created yourself. All of those are available here. And I can double click on one. It'll move over to the right side. And when I click OK, that report will be available under quick reports. And we just click on it to run that report. This is very, very nice for those, like I said, those reports that you find you're running quite frequently. Pin them here on the work in progress because you're coming here to start a new return, to transmit out, to update the program, to look at your rejects. So this is a very good place to have reports at your fingertips. That is the work in progress summary screen. Now, next, I want to show you the different reporting avenues we have available. The first is the reports that are available in the program, and those are what are called standard reports. Our extended reports, those are custom reports that you can build yourself. We have system export reports, as well as that management dashboard report that I showed you earlier available on the work in progress. Additionally, there are reports, administrative reports, financial reports, and even status reports available on the customer portal. And we're going to take a look at a little bit at the CrossLink app, the reports that you can see there. So let's go back to the CrossLink program. Here we are, starting with standard reports. These are reports that we've built for you. And just like any Windows program, you can pull them down from the menu. And it's easy enough to run them. I'll just run a birthday list here. It'll pop up a little window for us. We'll click, you can print, but I'm going to click Quick View. And there's our list, so you can see it in here. And there's different report criteria available at the top, depending on what kind of reports you're running. Let's look at this rejection. You can see there's start and end date for the acknowledgments and so forth. So depending on which report you're running, this could change at the top. Those are standard reports. Next are what's called extended reports. These are custom reports you can build and manipulate yourself. These are available on the return selection grid. So if I click select a return, now we have the extended button available at the top here. I'll click extended, and this little window tells us how we're going to display or what we're going to search for. If you look across the bottom, there's you can save the report that you built, or any reports that you have saved will come into this reports list here. And if you load up these reports, now you can manipulate them. So I can add or subtract different things in here. This report, we're looking at checks that are available to print, right? So if we look, these are the fields that we want to display in the report. So when we run this report, we want to see their name, their last name, their first name, their social, their phone number, their EFIN, and any receipt number that we have there. So this is what we're going to be looking at. What we're searching for down here looks to be this return status of C. This means there's a check available for us. And like I said, we can remove these and we can look for different things. If I want to look for a specific attached form, maybe my Schedule C. So now anybody that has a Schedule C available, I can click OK. And if I had any, it would show it in here. Let's do this here. We'll change this to like the 1040. That way we can see this report. Now when I click OK here, it'll show, like I said, the last name, the first name, the social, and so forth. And these are all the returns that I have with a 1040 in it. I only have one return, so, right? So again, to get there, we have to go to the return selection grid, and we'll click on Extended at the top here. All right, that's Extended Reports. Next, I want to show you our System Export Reports. Now, before I get into this, I want to warn everybody that's out there that when we go into the system utilities, it's very touchy, and we want to make sure that we know what we're doing, or we have called a technical support representative and had them walk us through these different utilities, these different system utilities. I want to show you two of them that we can run in here with no problem. If I go to Utility, then we have System Utilities right here in the middle, and all of these. And again, I want to caution you, be careful in here. You can do things like overwrite your data, and it's unrecoverable if you're in here and make a mistake. But there are two I can show you that are safe for you to run. The first is this System Export Report. And what's important about this is if we run this utility, it gives us a list of non-returning clients. So what it's doing is it's looking in last year's CrossLink, and it's comparing who you completed returns for there to who has completed a return so far this year, and anybody that's not there is going to show up in this report. So you can really get a sense of those clients that have not yet returned to have their return completed by you yet. There's a lot of different reports in here. I urge you to come in here and look and see if any of this makes sense for what you're doing. Maybe it'll help you out. There's also where you want to send this. So if you want to send it to the desktop, give it a name and run it. Let's do that. Test. All right, and then when I click run here, it'll run it. I'm on my demo, so. All right, so that's System Export, right? So make sure this is where you go if you're in here. System Export, run utility, and there we are. Now, if we look in here again, there's another one I want to show us. So we have this Tax Return Audit. Now, this is if you want to look at or recover returns that have been deleted. So if I go in here and I delete my return, and we go and look, now I don't have any records here. My return's gone. However, we don't really delete the return. What happens is we mark it and we put it into this special database. If we run this utility, it'll allow us to recover that return. And all I have to do is double click on it. We can repair it. I'll click yes. And now that return is available to us. And when you open it up, inside the tax return is an event log. And you can tell who created the return, even who deleted the return. You can see I did all this here, when that happened even. So you can really, if it looks like somebody might be deleting returns and trying to be sly and hide things, all of that will be revealed within this event log. All right, that's our system export. Next up, I want to show you the reports that are in our customer portal, starting with administrative reports. Now, I have some screenshots that I can show you guys. I don't have any data to be able to show you, but I do have screenshots. In administrative reports, there are, at my last count, 17 reports available out there. And here's an example of the non-returning business clients. Who did you complete a corporate return for last year that we haven't yet seen this year? Also audit protection. So who has sold, who has purchased Protection Plus or audit protection for their returns? There's 17 different ones out there. I urge you guys to go out and see what's available. When you log into the customer portal, it's right up there at the top right-hand corner. Along with the administrative reports, we have our financial reports. There's 16 reports out there at my last count. And here are a couple more examples. We can see no fee, payment by date, and it'll tell us exactly where our money's going and where it's at and when it's coming. We can see the pass-through balance report at the bottom. And this one I found kind of interesting as well, a year-to-year summary, so you can compare where you were last year to this year and so forth. So go out and look at those financial reports. Lastly, on the customer portal, we have status reports. Our number one call to support has to do with the statusing of tax returns. Where's my check? Or this return looks stuck. Can you help me? We have 5 reports out there that will kind of let you see some things before you call support and remain on hold. Maybe this will explain things, or maybe it'll really make it seem like it's stuck. It'll at least give you some information before you call support. Here we can see rejected returns or non-financial returns, those that we filed that didn't have a bank product on them. There's 5 different ones out there at my last count, and they can really help us as far as maybe negating a call to our support staff. Here's another status report. This is specific to a tax return, so you can even look up Social Security numbers and get information directly about that return on our website. And these are pretty much the same things that our support staff is able to see as well. So run this report and see if it can't bring to light something that might be kind of confusing about that return status. Those are the website reports. Those are available on the customer portal after you log in. Last report I have to talk about here is our CrossLink app. These are available for iPhone and Android, and they can provide financial information anywhere that you have your iPad or your iPhone or Android phone. These are free. All you need to do is have your access code or your account code, the same codes you log in to the website with, and they're especially useful to see what's going on at the office when you're not physically at the office. And there's other tools available on this as well to make states available for offices that need them and so forth.